All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Buckskin Voice.
Welcome. I feel like it's been a while since we've done this.
I know. It seems like it's been forever, but then it also seems like we just did it at the same time.
Yeah. Well, and I do so many of these for other things that I forget what we're doing and what our name is.
What I've talked about, who I've talked to.
What I've said. We also had a little flub yesterday. Again, we're known for that here.
I wasn't going to talk about it this time.
Well, we are. We're going to talk about it. It's okay. We make mistakes and it happens, and we're back here, and it's going to be a great episode.
Yeah. This time was, forgot to turn phone into airplane mode, and a call came in and shut the recording down.
Yeah, it happens. It's life.
It's great.
Real life is still happening around us.
Yeah. I tell my students all the time, like, you'll make mistakes. I do them all the time. And I like to give examples so they understand, like, that's part of life is that you make mistakes. You roll on, you recover from it. And
something that we have to deal with out here is while we're recording, people may be hearing things going on in the background, or you may notice this beautiful door behind us.
Yes.
Because we're recording in the PAT trailer out behind the building because we don't have a recording studio at school. And so I said a second ago, real life is still happening. It is. It's still happening around us, and people are walking outside of the trailers, and our class is happening and people are doing things. And so sometimes you just have to roll with the punches and move on.
You just make the best of it. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of stuff going on. I was out for like a week. I went to the MoreNet conference. For those of you that don't know, MoreNet is a company that provides internet connectivity and various other things to schools. Probably 80-90% of schools in this area for sure, and probably all of Missouri, I would guess, are MoreNet customers.
There's a lot.
And I went to their conference and got an opportunity to listen in on a number of different things and hear what big schools are doing.
I'm bummed because I got an invitation to the MoreNet conference, but I didn't get to go. And I don't know why I got an invitation. Maybe it's because I do communications, but the fact that I didn't get to go kind of bummed me out.
It was a really good conference,
especially
if you're, a tech person. It was great. First 2 days of it was tech in the classroom.
Yeah.
And then the next 2 days was tech infrastructure.
Okay.
So got to learn a lot of things. We've already had a couple of things we've implemented as far as just some little changes.
Yeah.
We've made all the students really happy this week because we blocked YouTube. So
the big one.
They've been so excited that YouTube doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Teachers actually truly are excited about it though. Most of the teachers I've talked to, when we first discussed it, they were like, yes.
Yeah. Because teachers can still use YouTube for educational content.
Yes.
Students are just not given the freedom to go exploring whenever they want.
Right.
Correct?
And the teachers they have a piece of software called ClassWise that works with our filtering system, and they can allow YouTube as a reward or during their class period, but only for their period.
Yeah.
So if I open it up during my period, as soon as my class ends, it shuts back off.
Oh, that's nice.
So the students don't it's not like I'm going to forget to turn it off and then they have it for the whole day or anything like that. But it gives the teachers a lot of freedom to allow those things. They can do a focus group where the class can only go to a specific website. And it's a tool that we've really been trying to push out and get the teachers more comfortable with.
Yeah.
Because it gives
you hear
so
real
much
life happening
freedom.
right now.
Yeah,
my phone is ringing. I forgot to put it on do not disturb.
One of the things I do is as soon as I start my instruction time, there's a button in there that says pause internet.
Yeah.
And I hit the pause internet button. It shuts the internet down for all the kids. We do our instruction time, and then we turn the internet back on if they need it.
I love that because then they're not distracted. They can't be doing other things, not paying attention. And then, 10 minutes down the road, they're like, what did you say? I didn't hear.
Yeah. I was playing a game right now.
Yeah.
So we got to do that. We learned about a lot of things at the conference that were new things that we hadn't heard yet. There's coming, but they're not too small schools.
Right. There's some legislature coming down that we are now actively looking into and figuring out what that's going to look like for our district. And that happens a lot. Legislature, I don't think people who are not in education understand how often it changes for us.
It's constant.
It's constantly changing, and there are constantly things that we are having to implement and look into. And then we're having to figure out, is it tied to funding and it's something that we have to do? Is it not tied to funding and it's optional? Is it not tied to funding and it still is something we have to do?
Right.
And so there's just a lot that goes into it.
And some of it is tied to funding in the way that you have to do this, but we're going to give you the funding to do it with. And some is tied to funding in that you have to do this, and if you don't, we're not going to give you your funding you're already getting. This particular one is one that if you receive any type of federal funding, you have to do it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it is massive penalties for not doing it.
Yeah.
Fortunately, as a small school, like I said, the big schools are already working on it because they're a year ahead as far as when they have to do it.
So we have some guidance from other people.
Yeah, we have about a year and a half before we have to start meeting all the requirements, but we're already in the process of doing that.
Yeah. So. And it's honestly, it's going to be a lot of work, but some of the things that we're having to do are very simple changes that we are going to have to make. And it's not a lot of changes that are necessarily going to affect everyone else's day-to-day, but it is a lot of changes that are going to affect our day-to-day.
Yep. And just like, we're not trying to be secretive about it, it's about accessibility, basically, for people that have hearing disabilities and visual disabilities and things like that.
Making sure that everyone can access our content equally.
Yeah. And when we send stuff home with kids, we have to make sure that it meets certain requirements so that people who are visually impaired can see it and read it. Yeah. So it's a real positive thing.
It is. It is going to be really good changes. It's going to take some work for us to get there on some of the back end of things. But I'm excited to see the changes because I think they're going to be good for us.
We've had some other fun stuff going on. One of the things at that conference, I got a free, huge 75-inch interactive TV.
Yeah.
So we're going to give that away to one of our teachers who has signed up to be part of our tech guidance team.
That's super exciting.
We're going to let them have that for their classroom. So that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of fun stuff going on in the building. We had school board members were in here a few weeks ago and touring and getting to observe classes and sessions. They kind of took turns. I think it was 2 at a time, if I remember right, that would come in and kind of watch classes in session and stuff. So that was really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. That's cool.
I know I think the teachers enjoyed it. I'm sure they were nervous.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody's going to come in and observe, and especially the people that, kind of control the budget and the money for the school, when they're going to come in and watch you, it's a little nerve-wracking.
It is,
But it's great to see our school board that involved.
Yes.
And care that much that they want to see what's happening.
They want to know what's going on and support everyone.
From a positive stance. It wasn't like, hey, we think there's a problem. It was, hey, we want to be here. We want to show the staff that we care.
Yes.
And show the students that we care. And we just want to know. We want to know what's happening.
It was. And I love that we have a board that is so supportive of our entire staff. They want to know everyone. They want to know what's going on. They want to know all the programs. They want to know everything. And I love that about them because as a non-certified staff member, it makes me feel really supported knowing that they care about what I'm doing every day and not in I've got my thumb on you, I'm watching you, but in they truly care about what we're doing.
Yeah, they care about the school.
Yeah.
And, parents, if you don't know, on our website, you can go on there and there's email addresses for all of our board members.
Yeah.
And they always love hearing input from parents. Positive or negative. Of course, they prefer the positive, but they want to hear, if you see a problem or there's something you're concerned with or you have a question, go on there and send them an email.
Absolutely. They want to know about it.
Reach out to them, reach out to the superintendent, reach out to the principals. Like we have an entire group of leadership at our school that truly wants to know what people think about stuff.
They do, for sure.
So, that's a little rare sometimes.
It is. Yeah, it absolutely is.
Okay. I think we're going to take a short break. We're going to show you guys some videos of some students, and then we will be back in just a few minutes to talk about what the kids are talking about.
Yeah, what the kids are talking about.
In just a minute.
Okay.
What I'm looking forward to Christmas this year, I'm looking forward to having a great Christmas, opening presents, and having a great time.
I'm looking forward to Christmas break so I can hang out with my brother, open presents, and have a good time.
My birthday's in Christmas. I'm going to turn 7 because I'm now on 6, so I can see what I get for my birthday.
This Christmas, I am looking forward to sing happy birthday to God.
I'm looking forward to sleeping in all day and baking cookies and watching movies with my family.
I'm looking forward to spend more time with my dad.
I'm looking forward to play with my sister.
I'm looking forward to going to Silver Dollar City.
I'm looking forward to playing games, opening presents, and spending time with my family.
I'm looking forward this Christmas to go ice skating and making a big snowman.
This Christmas, I am looking forward to spending time with Mrs. Willoughby.
I'm looking forward to spending time with my family, my new grandson, my daughters, and Mr. Willoughby.
What I'm looking forward to this year for Christmas is my children and grandchildren coming to my house, as they do every year. But a special thing I'm looking forward to is December 26th. I get to have my 7th grandbaby.
This Christmas, I'm looking forward to baking Christmas cookies at home. Hi, on Christmas break, I'm looking forward to sleeping in.
All right, we're back.
And we are literally back.
Yeah, we left, went and recorded.
Yeah, and we ended up, and we did get a few staff members in there as well. So I know we had said students before we left.
We did.
And made a spur-of-the-moment decision to grab a few staff members.
And I'm so glad we did, because some of them were really great.
Yeah. One was a little awkward. You probably figured that one out already.
You'll know.
When I mean, you've already seen it, so you know. But we might even stick the little blooper in somewhere. But.
Yeah, we need to, for sure.
So that just leads us really into our topic this time, which is Christmas break.
Yeah, it's coming up quick.
You know, it can be a very stressful time of year.
It can, for so many reasons.
Yeah, I mean, it's just lots of things going on. You know, I know when my wife and I got married, one of the things that I told my family and she told her family was Christmas Day, we stay home.
Yeah.
We're not
not running and going crazy.
Anyone that wants to come visit is welcome to. Mm-hmm. We would love to see you guys on Christmas.
Yeah.
But on Christmas Day, we're staying home because
with the family.
You know, I remember as a kid, we would get up on Christmas morning, we would open our gifts, and then it was like, okay, now that they're open, get in the car, we got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
We'd go there and open gifts, and okay, now get in the car, we got to go somewhere else. And it was just it wasn't enjoyable.
No, it's so stressful. It's stressful for adults. It's stressful for kids. It's just a stressful time for everyone. And that's kind of what we want to talk about today, is how to maybe alleviate some of that stress.
Right.
How to keep your kids entertained for that 2 full weeks that they're home when you're not used to them being home.
Yeah.
What to do if that is a stressful time for your family financially and you need some assistance. Mm-hmm. And then just kind of some fun, exciting things that you can do while your kids are home too.
Yeah. And I know for us, you know, one of the big things for us is that we've really tried to just kind of focus more, especially as we've gotten older, on the memories part of it. You know, our kids have gotten older and we still buy gifts, but we've realized, you know, I've not really talked about it here, but you know, we lost our daughter 8 years ago, and it changed how we looked at a lot of these things. It made us understand that, you know, even though we thought we understood before, we really understand so much better now how valuable the time together is.
Yeah. And I think parents don't realize your kids are locking in those memories. And when they're older, they're going to remember that. We have talked before about when we were little, the things that we remember from being little. And like for Christmas, Thanksgiving, holidays for me, I remember making French onion dip with our grandma and coloring it every holiday. And that's what I remember. I don't remember what present I received on my 5th Christmas. You know, I don't. But I remember what we did and who we were with. And that's what kids are going to remember.
Yeah. And for me, it's one of my big ones is that on Christmas Eve, we would go to my aunt and uncle's house. Mm-hmm. Everybody would get together. My great-grandpa would read the Christmas story out of the Bible.
Yep.
And then he would sit down at the piano and play Christmas songs, and we would sing songs.
Yeah.
And we all got to open one present, which was always a pair of pajamas for the night.
We still do that with my kids.
Yeah. And it was just, that's what I remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
and those are the memories. Yeah. Our kids are all grown. Both of our sets of kids are grown. And my kids still want to know what are we getting for pajamas this year? What pajamas are we getting for Christmas?
Yeah. My youngest is 19 now. And our kids, as they've gotten older, they all are much more interested in, you know, hey, we're still going to see Christmas lights this year like we do every year, right? And things like that.
Yeah.
And,
you know, ours is always a junk food Christmas Eve. We get the trashiest food we can eat and we watch a Christmas movie. And my daughter Kaylee gets sick every single year and she's throwing up at midnight. But you know what? Every year she's like, Mom, what junk food are we having?
Yeah. And you know, the great thing about that is though, those memories, they don't have to cost a lot of money.
No.
You know, one of the things we do every year, we've done for several years now since we found out about it, is we go to Lori every year and we go drive through their Christmas light display at the fairgrounds. If you've not been, I would highly recommend it.
Yeah.
It is, it's an hour or so drive, so it's a little bit up there. It's totally free, and it takes a little while to drive through. There's a ton of lights.
Lots of stuff.
You know, we listen to Christmas music and drive through. And if you want to, they have horse-drawn carriages. You have to reserve them way in advance.
Yeah.
But
that's so fun.
You know, those types of things that we do, you know, we do that. We go around here and look at Christmas lights. We go to Springfield and we go to the, you know, was it the
Botanical Gardens or
no? Was it the Bagleys? I think is the people's name, and they do this huge display in their house.
We went to Bass Pro a couple weeks ago, and I said it was the most magical place I've ever been because even right now, I mean, we're recording this in mid-November, and even now they have their entire parking lot set up like Santa's Village. There's an ice skating rink, and I was just like, this is amazing. As an adult, I was so in awe of the spirit of Christmas that was there and the fun, exciting feeling that I got just in the parking lot.
Yeah. And if you've never been, I don't know if you guys have ever been or not, but the Japanese Stroll Garden in Springfield.
I have never been there, Christmas. But I want to go.
So my wife's family, her mom rents a little room at the, there's a little nature center thing right by it.
Yeah.
And she rents a room, and that's where we do family Christmas at with her family. And then she gets everybody a ticket to go through the stroll garden.
That's cool.
And they do all the lights and everything, and it is absolutely beautiful.
I love that.
And they have some food trucks set up with hot chocolate and apple cider and things like that.
Well, even here in town in Lebanon,
it's very affordable. It's not very expensive.
Yeah.
But it's great, and it's so much fun, and the kids
I love that kind of stuff. Even in Lebanon, though, we have so many fun, free things at Christmas. We have the Christmas parade, which, listen, I love a Christmas parade. I don't care how old I am. I don't care how cold it is, or I don't care. I love Christmas parades. I love them, and I will always watch them. And for so many years, our family has always been in them because our grandma won the Christmas parade theme contest for 10 years, I think.
Something like that every single year. But she never put her name on it.
She put someone else's name on it every year. Yeah. So our family always had a float for that. And, so there's a Christmas parade. I love it. There's the downtown Christmas event now on Commercial Street. They do the Christmas on Commercial. They have that lighted ATV parade, which is so much fun.
It's so cool.
It is so much fun. Hundreds of ATVs, UTVs down there that people are driving through, lit up, and it's just so much fun.
It was shocking to me the first year that they did it, how many showed up.
Yeah, it's amazing. If you've never been down there, it is so much fun. The businesses stay open late. They have vendors down there. It's a blast.
They have stuff set up at the farmer's market usually.
Yes. Yeah. And then there's also the Christmas at the park. At Boswell Park, I think. It used to be at Ashley, but I think they moved it at Boswell Park. And that's a free event that you can take your kids to. And there's all kinds of people from town, civic groups and all kinds of things that are set up at that, doing activities and games and hot chocolate. And
library does their tree event.
Yes, the library has their Festival of Trees, and you can go. They're going to have a Christmas with Santa night where Santa will be there. They'll read a story and do cookies. You can vote on all the trees that are set up at the library. There are a lot of really fun things to do in December with your kids in this town. You don't have to travel far to do that.
Make memories and don't cost a lot of money.
Yeah. And the thing that I always think about too is we've talked before about the Route 66 Museum at the library. If you've never been to that, it is a really great museum. It's free. You go into the library, you walk through it, you can see all the stuff. There's some really great artifacts there from all throughout history. It's free. People literally come from all over the world to that museum. It's insane to me.
It's amazing when you see the countries that show up to come to that museum.
It is. It's so crazy. And it's such a good resource that we have in our town. We have Bennett Spring that's free, which in the winter time, it's harder to do that, but you could still go out if it's not too cold. The weather's usually pretty mild in December, so you could go walk the trails.
You've usually at least got one weekend that's nice enough to go walk some trails and
do all that fun stuff. Yeah. So there's lots of things you can do. One thing that my kids always look forward to every year at Christmas is baking. We love to bake cookies, bake desserts, whatever. But for our kids and for our family, it's really just about being together that day. It's one time that we get to spend the entire day together with nothing else to do.
Right.
And it's so much fun. And I think that's what's important for parents to remember is you don't have to spend a ton of money to create memories and keep your kids entertained over Christmas break. You can do those free things or bake things or, there's so much to do.
And just keeping that idea that, really is about spending time with our family and things like that and not so much the gifts. And, one of the things we always did, and I know you guys did as well, was the gifts for our kids that were from Santa were about a $20 limit was all that we would spend on a Santa gift, because a lot of times you see kids that will get, they'll get the latest Xbox.
Yeah.
And that's their, Santa brought me a new Xbox.
Right.
They come back to school in January and they're talking about their Xbox that Santa brought them. And meanwhile, there's another kid in their class that, Santa got them some new socks.
Right.
And because mom and dad, that's what they can afford.
Yeah.
And then that kid wonders why it is that Santa doesn't bring me an Xbox.
Right.
Like if Santa brought you an Xbox, why did he bring me socks? Or why did he bring me this?
Yeah.
And so we always really were trying to be very aware of that. We grew up poor. You were younger when we got out of that living situation, but I wasn't. I remember being poor.
Right.
Very poor. And so I don't ever take that for granted.
Right.
And I always try to remember, and we,
give back when you can.
At this point in life, we're definitely not wealthy by any means,
right.
but we're also not. We're not trying to figure out how we're going to buy dinner.
Right.
And
a lot of our families are figuring that out.
And even at this point, I work here at the school. My wife is a nurse. But even at that, we go to the grocery store and I'm just like, I don't know how people are doing this right now.
It's so expensive.
Because there's times that I'm going, man, we're going to have to cut back on what we're buying because it's so high right now.
Yeah. Everything is expensive.
That's one of the great things is that we do have a ton of resources here.
We do.
If you're struggling with that.
Yeah.
We don't want any of our families or our kids to go hungry.
No, we do not. And we have a really incredible community that pours into our school district. I have a number of people that I can call at any point in time and say, hey, I've got a family that has this need. And it's met within the day. Our superintendent has numerous contacts that she can call for the same reason. In fact, in November, we were able to give a ton of families $200 worth of groceries approximately.
Right.
That we didn't do that. It wasn't my money. It wasn't the school's money. That was a donor
who's the community.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. We had a couple of really incredible donors who contacted us and said, hey, we know it's hard for families right now. We want them to have groceries. Here's money. Here's products. We had one donor who donated items and said, here's what I can do. And those were then returned back to our families. And oh my goodness, I got stopped in the hallway the other day by a kid that was like, hey, thanks for giving my family food. And it literally made me almost cry because I don't ever want a kid to go hungry. Never. Yeah. And so that's what I love about my job is that I get to be that person that connects people to resources so that needs are met. It's not about me doing it. It's about meeting the needs of the families and connecting them to resources.
And while we do have a lot of resources here specifically where people have made donations and stuff. But, if you are in need or something, don't let pride get in the way of making sure.
Yeah. It's all confidential when someone asks us for help.
Yeah. There's no, we had a staff member the other day that said something about getting it and I had no idea, and I don't care. I mean, I do lots of things, I'm pastor of our church and there's lots of things that I do through the church that people don't ever know about.
Right.
And that's the way it should be.
And we have a resource.
You don't do it for publicity. You don't do it for those things. But we have a ton of resources additional that you know of that can help.
Yes, we have a full resource list that if I can't meet your need through the school or I can't connect you to someone here at school who can meet it, I've got an entire list of resources that I can connect you to in the community. I've got an email group in the community that I can email. We get probably at least 4 or 5 times a week, someone emailing that group and saying, hey, here's a need for someone that I know that I'm working with. And within 15 minutes, it's met by someone in the community. So,
I was in I was part of a focus group recently for City of Lebanon. They asked me to be in, and they're working on rebranding the city. And they brought this guy in from Nashville who's a specialist, a consultant in doing that. And the one thing, whenever he had everybody write down what makes your community special, one of the things was exactly that.
Yeah.
Like that was on pretty much every single person in the room had it on their list that we have a community of supportive people.
Yeah, we do.
Our community comes together when somebody's hurting.
I've been in education for 15 years. This is my 15th year. And I have never one time in that entire 15 years had a need that has not been met by someone.
Yeah.
Like if a family has a need, it has always been met.
Yeah.
And it's incredible to me. I remember one year, probably within my first 5 years of being in education, I had a family that needed an electric bill paid. And I had probably 20 people calling me wanting to pay that electric bill because they knew that it was a need for that family. so many people that I was like, I can't take your money.
Yeah,
it's already been taken care of, which is an incredible problem to have.
It is.
But I know the next time I needed something, I reached out to those people and they met that need immediately. Yeah. So it's just, we have an incredible community here. And I don't ever want anyone to feel embarrassed about having to ask for help. We've all been there. We have all been in a place where we have had to ask for help. And if someone tells you they haven't, they're lying to you. I'm sorry, but they are.
And, a lot of people, through this and other things that I've done before I came to work here, I've got to know a lot of variety of different socioeconomic classes of people in our community. And some of the people who you look at and you go, well, they would never understand because look at the house they have and all the cars they have and all this and this and this. If you actually go talk to them, a lot of them grew up, literal dirt poor. Like they didn't have floors in their house. They didn't have running water. They didn't they understand.
Yeah. Well, that's
part of the reason our community is so supportive, I think.
We have a staff member who was a couple days ago talking about how early in her career, she was a young mother and they were deciding they would have to go talk to their family to eat because they didn't have food. They were feeding their child, but they weren't eating.
Yeah.
And there are so many people that I think have that issue that we don't know about. You would be surprised at the number of people who have that issue. And that's, for me, I'm like, I don't ever want anybody. If you have a need and you are hungry or you need something, please tell me because I will do everything I can to help you.
Yeah, we've been there.
Yeah.
It's just the way life goes.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
One of the things that we really wanted to talk about today too, though, was over Christmas break, how do we keep our kids
engaged
and not just falling apart, essentially. It's easy. It's a time of year that it's very easy mentally to fall apart.
Mm-hmm. For everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone.
And a lot of times as parents, we forget how easy it is for our children to fall apart too and be having some mental things, some struggles and emotional struggles that we're not necessarily aware of.
Yeah.
Because they feel when we're struggling.
They do.
They know when we're having a hard time.
They feel the stress at home. And then, here they're in school every single day with their support group, their friends, their teachers who are their support group, whether we like to admit that or not, that is true.
Yeah.
And then we take them out and now they're at home, maybe feeling the stress of whatever the parents are going through. Or maybe they're just having a hard time and they miss their friends.
Yeah. Or maybe they're dealing with something and they know mom and dad are struggling right now.
So they don't want to talk to them about it.
I don't want to add to it.
Yeah.
And that happens. And there's a number of things you can do. I know you looked up some different ideas. And one of the big ones that I saw was just trying to keep some sort of routine.
Yes.
Keep a routine. Not just going, well, we're on Christmas break, so stay up as late as you want, sleep in as much as you want. You know, it's a free for all. And look, that's probably what I did with my kids most of the time, honestly, was especially as they got a little bit older. Once they hit teenage, it's like,
once my kids were able to have a Christmas break, I worked in education. And so, I was on Christmas break too. We were staying up till 1 a.m. watching Netflix and then sleeping all day.
Yeah.
And it was a nightmare to go back to work and school.
Right. Yeah. And the bad thing is, if you do that, it's really, really a good idea to, at least a few days prior to school starting,
start a new routine.
Get back to the school routine for a few days prior so you ease into it.
Yes, because it's going to make your life easier, their life easier, your teacher's life easier.
Yeah, you don't want to spend the first week of school back of your kids struggling.
Yeah.
And, and being exhausted and maybe having behavior issues because they are exhausted because we all know we get cranky when we're tired.
Oh, yesterday I went home from work and I told my husband as soon as I walked in, I was like, I'm cranky today. I don't know why, but I'm cranky. And about maybe, 30, 40 minutes later, he was like, you are cranky today. He knew. Sometimes it just happens.
Yeah.
One of my favorite ways that we kind of keep in tune with what our kids are dealing with. And our kids don't live at home anymore, but we still do this every time we're together, or we'll randomly text them and ask them. We do, and it was started in our family by Mrs. Cogdill whenever she was here. We do highs and lows. Mm-hmm. And at dinner every night, whenever our kids were still at home, as we were eating, we would say, what's your high and your low for the day? What was your high or your low for the week? And they had to tell us. You don't get to pass. You have to say something. But there were so many times that during those conversations, we found out little tidbits of, this kid failed a test today at school, or, and for a kid, That's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Failing a test at school is a big deal. Or even maybe not even failing it, but getting a lower grade than they wanted is a big deal.
Getting
or
a B instead of an A.
Yeah. There was one time that one of our kids talked about somebody being rude to them at school. And I was like, okay. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, that probably was a huge deal to them. Like it probably messed up their whole day. And so we still do that with our kids. So that's a great way all the time, not just over Christmas break, but even if you just start implementing it over Christmas break. What's your high and your low for today? And while you're on Christmas break, your high might be, I slept in. Your low might be, I had to wake up. But eventually when your kids get used to doing it, they're going to say so much more than what they do the first few times. And we have students here, staff members and students who knew that Mrs. Cogdill did that. She had shared it, and their families. I hear families all the time telling me they do highs and lows.
Yeah.
And it's so great. It's such an easy way to get tuned into your kids.
Well, and it's just a good conversation starter.
Yeah.
It's an easy way to start things,
We do the would you rather a lot at dinner with our kids too. Like when we're talking.
My wife does those, but they're... Yeah. Would you rather be just a head or just a foot? Well, neither one of those are going to work. So
that is a good question. I like questions like that. That's so fun.
But, one of the things as we're looking at that stress, and we do worry about it, and, we stress, my wife and I, we stress about Christmas gifts and things, even though we know, like I say, it's changed for us, but we still do. But I hope that you noticed through those videos of the kids today that presents weren't
the top thing.
It
was family.
Yeah. Most of them were time.
Yeah. Yeah. They wanted time with their family. Yeah.
And it's so important.
It is. It is. And that's something we talk about at school a lot is that connectedness and the time and the parent involvement. I don't think that a lot of people realize that it is the biggest indicator of success in school.
Yeah.
Is parent involvement.
Yeah.
And whether that is you're coming to school or you're emailing your child's teacher or you're just sitting down for a family meal at night or playing a board game on the weekends or whatever, spending time with your kids and engaging in their lives is the biggest indicator of success in school and in later life. And there are so many studies that prove that.
And there's a lot of times it's like anything else. It's easy to be someone who maybe didn't have that and has been successful to go, hey, look, I didn't have that and I turned out fine.
Right.
That's true.
That is true.
It's not
there's
not
always
like
an
a rule,
anomaly. Yeah.
But the thing is, how much different would it have been if you did have that?
Right.
What if you did?
Yeah.
I look at things in my life and I'm like, well, I had some really bad stuff when I was a kid and, but I came out fine. But then I'm also like, man, what would it have been like if I hadn't had that?
If I hadn't had that.
Like, what would my life have been without all that stuff to deal with?
Yeah.
And
if you could just get up every day, go to school, come home.
And it's just time is so valuable and it's free to give.
It is. Yeah, it is.
So
I think that's our biggest key for engaging your kids and keeping Christmas break at that normal, everybody is calm, cool, and collected is time.
Yeah.
Spend time with your family.
Play a game.
Yeah.
Play a board game, play a card game.
And board games are educational.
Love playing card games.
Yeah.
Like
ours do too. Yeah.
We have one, Cover Your Assets is one that we play all the time. And it's from 4 to 6 people. And we've played it. I think our grandson has played since he was probably 5 years old.
Yeah.
And he's 16 now. And the older kids, they all play. And, we'll do a family cruise every so often. And it's the one thing that we always take when we go on vacation. No matter where we go vacation, we bring it with us. And they love it. And, one of our daughters, she used to come over. She'd come over at like 11:30 on a work night and be like, hey, can we play Cover Your Assets? Like, no, we're going to bed. We have to be at work
tired.
in a couple
hours.
We're old. But they love it. They still do. And it's such a great
board games are so educational too. And I think people don't realize that.
Yeah.
It is educational in the typical academic educational sense, but also there is a social emotional piece to board games that people don't.
That you plug in that you miss.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
all right.
Any other thoughts before we close out?
I don't think so. I think that's all from us today.
All right. Well, we hope that you guys have a great Christmas break.
Yes.
We
Please
will be
reach
back
out
in January. Yeah, if there's any needs at all, reach out to Aaliyah.
Yep. I monitor our social media all the time, even when we're not in school. So
yeah, be sure to reach out because if we don't have the resource, she knows somebody that does.
Someone does. Yep.
There's no reason to do without.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
All right. Well, you guys have a great Christmas. We hope everybody has a good one, and we will see you in January.
Bye.